So after the needle was inserted in my arm, they started pumping me full of saline solution because they found out that I was a little bit dehydrated. So I had about 2.5 bags of saline solution at this point, and I really had to pee. I didn't have a catheter in at this point, so I was like, "Lady, I need to go to the bathroom, or it is going to be on this gurney." So they had pads under me, obviously, but those just kept getting soaked and soaked and soaked and soaked and soaked because of my amniotic fluid was just flowing out like crazy. Um, so I said, I can walk. Can I get up and go to the bathroom? She said, yeah. I said, I'm not going to have these babies in the toilet. Yeah, she says, absolutely not. So I went to the bathroom and came back, and then they did a cervical check. At that point, I was 3 centimeters dilated, and that was, I want to say at about 2 o'clock in the morning. 3 centimeters dilated. And they basically determined at that point there was no way I was going to do a vaginal delivery, so they started prepping for the C-section. So we moved from the admittance area into the operating room. So my husband changed into his operating clothes, and I changed into my Johnny coat, and put my hairnet on. He put his hairnet on, and they said, we're going to take your wife away. Just follow the signs and stuff to the delivery operating room. And at that point, my mom and dad had stopped by. They had flew there. I have no idea how they got there that quick, but they saw me before I went into the OR, which was really cool. I started crying when I saw my mom because it was really special to me. Obviously, if you follow me, you probably saw my cesarean section warnings and stuff videos, whatever, where I was crying because I really wanted my mom in the room for the delivery, whatever. Anyway, so wheeled me into the operating room, still shaking. I finally ask, hey, is this normal? They say, yes, it's hormones. Okay, fine. So I'm in the operating room. I'm in like the cross position. I have both arms down instead of just one arm because they had to do something with one arm and it didn't work. I don't remember. Whatever. But about the spinal, I got a spinal. It wasn't that bad. The one thing that did hurt a little bit, it kind of pinched, was the lidocaine, which is the numbing stuff that goes in your back before they put that 7.5, 8-inch needle in your spine. Yeah. Don't look, by the way. I looked. Don't do that. Don't do that. No. Oh, God, still freaking out looking at that fucking needle. It's huge. Gross. Anyway, so the anesthesiologist, I didn't know what was happening at that point because I'm shaking. I'm trying to kind of keep my cool and just trying to stay still because they keep saying stay still, and I'm just like, I'm trying. I'm shaking. This very petite Asian woman, her name was Gloria. She was young. She had to be a med student as well, and they had briefed me about this, that there was going to be medical students and residents and stuff in the room. Honestly, for my delivery, because there was twins, there was probably about 13 to 15 people in the room at that point. Yeah, that I could count, that I could see. So I'm sitting on the table. I'm sitting hunched over on the table, and Gloria, the petite, she had to be maybe 5 feet tall and 100 pounds soaking wet. She's teeny. And at that point, I was about 269 pounds. Yeah, I gained a bit of weight. Yeah. But I lost it all, so yay. She was in front of me, and basically the doctor, Dr. Robinson, had told her, hold her shoulders, and so she doesn't fall over. I'm looking at this little Asian chick like, I'm gonna squish your ass. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna squish you. You're gonna die. Oh my God. So she held me. I told her that. I'm like, Gloria, you gotta hold on because I am shaking. I am bigger than you. I'm gonna squish your little ass. She laughed. So she held me. So it was kind of helping the whole ease the tension deal. And I had no idea what they were doing back there. I didn't know because they didn't say, okay, we're gonna start the spinal now. They were basically just behind me, and I was like, okay, whatever. Do your thing. You're the doctor. Just get the babies out. So next thing I know, I feel pinches. And I said, is that it? Is that it? And the anesthesiologist kept saying, nope, not yet. Nope, not yet. I felt 5 pinches. And I said, okay, was that it? He says, almost there. Okay. I'm twitching because it's hitting nerves, and I'm moving a little, and it was involuntary movements because it's just hitting nerves in my back that are making me twitch. Um, so there was two people that had to hold me at this point because I kept twitching. Um, but man, as soon as that dude found the spot, woo! Oh man, if there was a vacation for that, I would take the vacation of a spinal vacation. Serious. It was seriously amazing. It felt like I'm getting chills right now. No joke. Can you see these? Goosebumps. Yep. It literally felt like I stepped into a pool of warm water. It was so relaxing. And it was kind of like Quinny's making noise. It was kind of like I said, "Is it ready? Is it ready? Is it in? Is it?" Oh, it was kind of like that. It was instant pain gone. Because at this point, before I was at the spinal, at the end of my pregnancy, I had round ligament pain and horrible pelvic like pubic pain, and I could barely move my left leg. Let's just say that I could lift it probably about this much. I was shuffling. It was horrible. I couldn't move up the stairs. I had my husband have to kind of push me and carry me up the stairs. I couldn't turn in bed. I was in horrible pain. Um, but as soon as that spine went in, gone, no more pain, done. Um, so I wanted to see everything. I wanted to see the incisions. I wanted to see the cuts. I wanted to see them pull everything out of me. I wanted to see it all. I'm gross like that. But obviously, needless to say, something like that they weren't going to allow me to see. So, because I think I would probably faint if I saw my guts on the table. Gross. Um, so it was very quick. Truly, it was very, very quick. Um, it was very quick, but it felt like forever, if that makes sense, kind of. So the doctor she's short, so she's probably about 5 feet tall, 5'1" or something like that. She's tiny as well. She's a Jewish woman. I don't know if that matters at all, but I'm just trying to paint you a picture. So she's on my right, and she has to step on a stool to do the surgery, which I thought was funny. So she stepped on the stool, and I could see her above the tent of mystery. Um, and my husband's on my left, and I could see him. Obviously, I'm just staring at him, just trying to keep cool. And I saw the clock as well. And I'm tired at this point, and I'm just kind of like, my eyes are half staff, and I'm like, I'm just trying to breathe, honey. I'm talking to my husband, I said, I'm just trying to breathe. And I'm still shaking. At this time, I can't feel anything from from top of my breastplate down. Can't feel shit. Like you could have cut my leg off. I wouldn't feel shit. Um, yeah, so I was feeling good. But the top half, I was still shaking up top. Um, yeah. So they started doing the incision, and 322. I couldn't feel anything at all. People even say you feel pressure or something like that. It wasn't pressure at all, to be honest with you. I didn't feel pressure whatsoever. I knew my body was moving because my top half was turning a little bit, but I didn't feel pressure. I felt nothing, nothing. Um, and at 322, Logan was born, and the doctor said, because you guys know that we didn't know the sex of our babies, and the doctor said, "Oh, this one has balls." So the entire operating room was cracking up because she said that, and I started crying, and Chris is just like, "Oh my!" Chris starts crying too, and I look at him right in his eyes. I said, "You have a son," because he thought they were both girls. And I said, nope. Because I said before, I said, no, it's a boy and a girl. And I knew which one was which, and I knew their personality. It's crazy. So 322, Logan was born. He has balls, she says. And I look at Chris's eyes. I'm waiting, and they're kind of, suctioning him. They show him to me. And I cry. And they're suctioning him and getting him this gross crap out of his nose and throat and stuff like that. And as they're doing that, they're taking out Quinn. And I'm looking at Chris, and I look at Chris, I look him right in his eyes. Before they even said it was a girl, I said, and that's a girl. I said, that's our Quinny. And they say, and it's a girl. I said, I told you. And I'm bawling when I'm talking, like tears. It was pretty intense moment. So 324, she was born. and it was the happiest moments of my entire life. Of my entire life. um, Logan was born at 4 pounds 8 ounces, and he was 18.5 inches. And Quinn was born at 5 pounds 8 ounces, and she was 18 inches. Um, my little girl and my little boy. That's how they came to be. It's crazy. Afterwards, they took me to the recovery room. I had only briefly seen the babies, kind of like the whole presentation thing, and that's it. I went to the recovery room for about 45 minutes. Um, they had to give me a couple medications to calm down the shakes. I can't remember what it was, but they gave me a couple things of medication to calm down the shakes, which didn't really work, to be honest with you. It worked for like 10 minutes, and then I just kept shaking again. And they said, it's hormones, it's hormones. Okay. So I tried to calm down. And at this point, both of our families came in and saw me, and I'm trying to calm down, and I'm like just shaking. It was, my jaw was clenching too. So, I finally went up to the room that I would be staying in for the next 4 days, and we went up there, and I rested for a bit. And at this point, I hadn't seen the babies 4 hours. I want to say about 4 hours. So they told me, if I wanted to breastfeed, that I would need to start either breastfeeding or pumping. But I couldn't, breastfeed them because at that point, because both of them were on the CPAP machine, which is the oxygen machine. They weren't having terrible difficulties breathing, but just a little bit, because it was a C-section. They had a little bit of fluid in their lungs, not too much. So yeah, and they brought me a pump, and I started pumping, and I had a lot of colostrum, but for the whole breastfeeding thing, I really, really wanted to do it, but my supply was shit, like absolute shit. I was killing myself doing it too, but that'll be a whole nother video about breastfeeding and whatnot. So we stayed for 4 days in the hospital, and the air was awful. My husband got freaking bronchitis when he was there. Yeah. He's like, no, it's just asthma. I said, no, the fuck it's not. Go to the ER or you're not seeing your kids. It was bronchitis, and he had to wear a face mask for a couple days, even after they came home. But the recovery process for the C-section was kind of grueling, not gonna lie to you. I was in a fair amount of pain, but I tried to be a hero about it, and I didn't want to take all this medication. I was prescribed Oxycontin, and I was prescribed oxycodone, and Percocets, and Colace, and what the hell else was I taking? I was taking a shitload of medications, like antibiotics and stuff to make you crap, because apparently, like, the medication that the spinal blocks you completely, which, oh my god, I can't even tell you, that was horrible. Totally blocks you out completely. They don't, the stuff they don't tell you, but it was horrible blockage. Gross. Too much information? Whatever. So yeah, we stayed there for 4 days, and in and out of the NICU, and our babies got better and better and better, and they were only there for 7 days, and we thought that Logan would be the first one to come home, and then they called us on Friday. Yeah, because that was the 7th day. They called us on Friday and said, hey, do you want to take Logan home tomorrow? We're like, oh my god, yeah, absolutely. Because we had thought, we would kind of ease our way in with Logan and then kind of get Quinn afterwards. And then they called us back later on that night. We were eating dinner. And they said, how about taking both home tomorrow? And we looked at each other like, oh my god, this is happening. So we got to take them both home. And yeah, that is my labor and delivery story. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was intense. It was an intense few months. I made it to 34 weeks, and that's it. I will be recording more about my journey as a mother of twins whenever I get another spare couple seconds. It's getting better, though. Just to let you know, it's getting better. All right, guys. Bye.